Minus Jake here to start a number of kind of rapid-fire reviews over the next number of days with the newly released Buzby Air Warriors and also the Adventure Force models that Buzby has produced. We're going to start out with one of the Adventure Force models, the Rogue. This is available for $24.88. Of course, being Adventure Force, it's an exclusive item to Walmart and Walmart.com. And this one is Buzby's newest semi-auto flywheel blaster, and it is, as you can see, obviously equipped with their drum. And they've made it translucent, at least. Not fully transparent, but close. So I'm going to call it translucent. It also comes with 30 of the darts and a scope, which, you know, it's got its own attachable Buzby style rail. So we'll go ahead and leave it on for the rest of the review. And a threaded on barrel attachment, and it has a lot of threads. So just to do this in real time so you can see, it comes with 30 of what I also call the angry gremlin darts. Those are kind of a neat dart. They look like, just to show you, they look like they're kind of mad at you. If you see a clear picture of them, they look like they're angry and yelling at you. So they haven't had a good day. I don't think you would if you kept getting your own head smashed into things repetitively, and that was your whole entire purpose of life. But moving on from that, you can either have the barrel attachment threaded on, or go the whole strip down, remove the scope, remove the barrel attachment, and here's your base blaster. We'll leave them off for the rest of the review, actually. But the drum itself is now included, which is, to me, a huge step forward for the price range. For comparison, the Adventure Force Spectrum, which is actually produced by Dart Zone, comes with magazines for only $5 cheaper. So that's a give or take depending on what you prefer. However, as it is, Buzby is known for making typically two types of flywheel power systems, like activation systems. Typically you have, as in the older Brute, you had the two-stage trigger, or something newer, you had with the Rebel Mech, you had a on-off switch. Literally on the left-hand side, you flick it on, and it's just always on. This one has a little bit more contemporary rev trigger. Now, it is powered by 4 AA's, has a little hatch with a Phillips screw located here. Unscrew that. This whole thing hinges up, and then you place 4 AA's vertically. It also does have a jam clearing door, and it does have a safety switch that you cannot power the blaster with the jam door open. And all that is a little button that gets depressed, and then you can power it. So anybody looking to mod can easily just remove that. But as to the blaster, a lot of talk so far without you getting to see one shot fired. You rev it up, and that's a few shots. I still have some left, but it hits an average of about 81.5 feet per second in my testing with this example. It's the only one I've got so far, but 81.5 feet per second, which is solid. That's not exceptional, especially with the fact that we have all the, Pro Dart offerings. But this blaster, compared to its contemporaries, now if this was a few years ago, I would have said the Nerf Strife, which came out firing at just over 70 feet per second. Now we got the whole Nerf Elite 2.0 with all of its different models that I haven't bought into, so I don't actually remember what its contemporary is there. But firing at 81.5 feet per second is better than Nerf offerings, and closer to being right there with, say, the Dart Zone built Spectrum. So that is definitely cluing me into I need to do a direct comparison video between the Spectrum and now the Rogue. Stay tuned for that. But as it is, what you'll get over a Nerf offering is already improved performance. And at $24.88 for the blaster, the scope, the barrel attachment, the drum, and 30 of those darts, which is unironically exactly enough to fill the drum, because it is a 30-round drum. And this is, yes, compatible with everything else on the market magazine-wise, If you want to throw in a Nerf mag, you can. My personal favorite is the Worker 22s. Throw them in. Or the new, my also tied for favorite, the new Busby 14 rounders. They all fit. So cross compatibility is definitely a good thing. Does not have a stock attachment. The other attachments are specific to this blaster. The threaded on barrel attachment, I'll say barrel extension, it does not cross compatible with. It's not cross compatible with anything else previously from Busby. It is specific to the Rogue. Now this is a Busby rail, so any Busby attachment will fit. So say, for instance, like the thermal sight, if you've got one of those, you can throw it on. So kind of nice. And just to prove that, here is a older Busby scope, and we just slide it on and it clicks. So perfect. It is just specifically Busby optics. Not a big deal. They have a lot of optics out there, and if you're a Busby collector like me, you've got tons of those. But 81.5 feet per second, 30 round capacity drum that is actually, let's talk about the drum for just a second. The drum itself, I have considered it to be superior enough to Nerf drums that I actually got rid of almost every single Nerf drum I have. I kept one 18 rounder, one 25, and one 35 rounder. These feed more reliably than Nerf drums by far. They also have a nice little built-in flat spot as a stand on the bottom. So if you have a blaster with this mounted, you can actually just stand it there and it'll sit. So it's kind of nice to be able to do that. And also, these have very tough plastic, and it's really thick all the way around the edge. As you can see, there's kind of a lip here all the way around, and it has extra molded in details that add extra plastic thickness to where it's pretty durable if you accidentally do drop it, which, let's face it, life happens. It's going to happen. So if you drop it on the ground, these are pretty tough drums in my experience. And the blaster itself, good grip. Remember, I'm an adult guy. I have extra large size hands. I wear XL to 2XL size gloves. That's just a frame of reference. My hand has plenty of grip, and the blaster is entirely ambidextrous. So if you're a left-handed user, if you're a right-handed user, works just as well for both. And especially that mag release that they've now switched to a paddle style is quite nice. And being centerline, it's completely ambidextrous as well. So, the Busby made Adventure Force Rogue. What's my final verdict? Well, this probably seemed almost like a sales ad for it. That's pretty much how positive I am with it. It's well designed. It's solid in construction. It has all kinds of molding that helps stiffen the shell of it, even if it's not the thickest plastic in the world. It has all kinds of molding everywhere. The grip and both red trigger and trigger are very ergonomic, which I know some of you have been around years, you're thinking, Busby and ergonomic. But it really is. This is a genuinely nice profile that I don't think is going to be alienating to somebody with smaller hands, even though me with my big hands, I like it. And the paddle style release for the drum or any other magazine, very nice. And I kind of like how they hid the battery compartment. It's where you don't know, if you look at it, you're like, where do the batteries go? It's right in underneath this, and that's kind of neat. It's not really not really a necessity to hide the battery tray, but they did. Now, it's kind of neat. It blends into the cosmetics really well to where it's not screaming, oh, here's a battery door. And I like that. And I hadn't even mentioned it, but the foregrip is also smooth and easy to use. It's not to where you feel like there's some random weird place or where do I put my other hand. It's just comfortable. So, despite not having a stock attachment point, and that might be the only omission that this blaster has, I rate this as an absolute home run. I don't really have any faults to find with it. It even has a built-in sling mount for a single point sling. I mean, they could have made it a double point, I guess, if you wanted to, but I like single point slings. So, this works. This is the Busby made Adventure Force Rogue. I think that this is pretty much absolutely a home run from Busby. I have nothing else to add or complain about. So, hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching. Remember, if you did enjoy it, please give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below of what you think of this blaster. Till next time, it's Mongoose Jake saying thanks for watching.